Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and this time we're looking at a newer line to Chef Knives to Go, at least when this video was recorded. This is the Tojiro, what they call Color Series. This is their 120mm petty. The Color Series is so named because they do offer the handles, and I've got quite a lot of fingerprints on this, don't I? Let's clean that up a little bit. But these are offered in a number of food-safe handle colors. Mark is just bringing them in just basic black. And the core steel is what they call molybdenum vanadium stainless, so fairly generic description. They do not list anywhere I can find yet a hardness, so I'm just going to guesstimate it's probably in the 57, maybe 58 range, possibly 59. This is a guess on my part. They are monosteel construction, so no layers or cladding. It's all the same material. And they're an entry-level knife line that would be good for somebody putting together a knife kit to go into cooking school, or I should say culinary school. Maybe some spares for you at home from this knife line for handing over to friends and neighbors and family members that want to use a knife, but you don't want to give them one of your higher-end knives. Or same people that are looking to buy some knives that perform well, but that aren't really knife people and may not take the greatest care of them. That might be a good, a value line for that type of situation. So let's take a look at the construction. We did that already. Let's take a look at the weight. About 1.8 ounces, 51 grams, very light. Edge length on this is just about 5 inches from the tip to the back of the heel, called the chin, or 126 millimeter. About 9 inches overall length. These are pretty thin, so the spine coming out of the handle is about 1.7 millimeters. Not a lot of distal taper on this one. It pretty much holds that. It tapers off a little bit, and then a bit of a distal taper towards the last inch or so, and the tip's actually fairly thin on these. The blade height is about 27 millimeters. Let's take a close-up look at the handle. The handle on these I like. They've got a little bit of a crinkle finish to them for some texture, and then they also have just a little bit of give to the plastic, so very, very grippy. The blade has a nice finish. There's some screened-on logo and molybdenum vanadium steel. Tells you about the Color Series. They've but the only issue I've had with some of these is sometimes the spine can be a little bit sharp on the edges on some of these, and also the choil. This particular one's pretty sharp on the spine. Some of them have been, some of them have not. So you may have to do a little bit of sanding to maybe give them a little bit, relieve that just a little bit if you want more comfort. I'd say out of the box edge, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. They've got pretty nicely cut bevels on them. Not a high level of finish, but they're reasonably sharp out of the box. I did sharpen one of these knives to get a feel, and I thought the steel was pretty good. It didn't really give me much of a trouble with the burr, and sharpened up pretty nice. So I'm pretty impressed with the steel, especially at this lower price point. The cutting board profile, if you choose to use this on the cutting board, you're not going to have a lot of clearance, but there are solutions to that. I'll talk about that in a second. Here's the profile. This one actually is almost like a little mini Guto profile because you've got a little bit of a flat spot towards the back. It kind of rolls in a little bit of a flat, and then fairly low belly on the tip. I can get about right there for where the tip starts digging in the board. So this will rock pretty well. Pretty all-around profile, really. If you don't have enough clearance on the board, you can see there's not a lot of space here. You can always, especially if your cutting board's a little thicker like this one, you can always just go right up to the edge of the board, just move your stuff over, and they got loads and loads of clearance. Here, I'll move this over. You got tons of clearance off the board if you got a thicker board. If not, just pull it to the end of the countertop and do the same thing on the countertop itself. And that'll give you plenty of board clearance. So just a nice entry-level line of knives, as I said already, for certain situations where you might find very effective. So pretty cool line of knives. So this is the Tojiro Color Series petty and fashionable black handle 120mm knife.